Greetings, diners, and welcome to another edition of the Collapse Cafe here on the Doomstead Diner. And the sun is setting on the longest day of the year. It is the summer solstice, 2024, marking another year of collapse. And I am reflecting on the many problems facing us as we move forward into another season. How are we going to survive? What will become of the species Homo sapiens as we maneuver our way through the next 20 years, the next 50, the next 100? One of the psychological phenomenon that we have to deal with is denial. Denial is a very deeply rooted psychological defense mechanism that people have, and it's been evident in just about all aspects of our civilization, well, going back at least as far as Rachel Carson's Silent Spring back in the 60s. I remember that book, one of the first ones that I read on the topic of pollution and what we were doing to our natural environment. And for many years, most of my life, I didn't really concern myself with environmental issues. And really, I sort of still don't. Carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, global warming, all that stuff is not what brought me into study of collapse dynamics. I came about it because I observed a couple of investment banking firms collapse back in 2007, 2008, Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers. And I had some dealings with them in my younger years when I was in the investment banking business. And it astounded me that banks of that size and that much capital and as well hedged and positioned as that type of bank usually is, that they could be so open to risk that they could essentially go up in smoke in, course of a few months, really. It was quite remarkable, really. So that led me to studying what was going on, and the reality was that people in the banking business were in denial about the worth of the assets that they had on their books. And that really hasn't changed very much, despite the collapse of the subprime real estate market and the products that were developed. The same type of disaster is unfolding now in commercial real estate, which also is seriously overvalued. And we have lots and lots of large office buildings that have gone completely empty, and the mortgages aren't being paid on them, and they're still being held on the books of the banks, most of them really, So few of them have been sold off for what amounts to pennies on the dollar. There was a property in Broadway in New York. It sold for, I don't know, $1.5 million. It was a $250 million building a few years ago, and sold basically for the price of a McMansion. um, and it's remarkable that that can happen because one would think that you could convert it. I mean, there's a shortage of housing all over the place. How much would it cost to, you know, reconfigure the building? I don't know, $50 million, something like that. But well, there's zoning and God knows what the other problems are that are involved. But they say that no, it's not practical to convert these office buildings to residential housing. All right, well, if you believe that, okay, but I don't tend to believe it. So there's denial going on in the real estate market, and then we all know about the denial that went on with our climate. For a long time, uh, anthropogenic global warming was considered a fiction by a very large percentage of the population. Uh, that, I think, is mostly in the past, but people still they don't deny global warming so much, don't deny climate change, but they still deny that we are responsible for it with all of the burning of fossil fuels that we do. And in their daily lives, in our daily lives, just about all of us deny it as a matter of course, because of course we don't give up our cars, we don't stop doing the things that are putting it in the atmosphere. Now, is that denial? That's a good question. I don't think it really is, because for most people it's simply impossible to stop doing those things. Your livelihood depends on it. Your life inside of this civilization depends on having a car, depends on using electricity to light your house and so forth. You live in a cold climate, you have to heat your house. You live in a hot climate and you got to air condition your house. It's not that easy to simply stop doing things. And in fact, to go off grid and to build yourself a doomstead, a place that's self-sufficient and where you can hopefully ride out the storm as various aspects of our society collapse. Well, that's a kind of a denial of its own, because the actual ability to live off grid, and really be self-sufficient is almost impossible. I don't know of anybody who really successfully lives completely independently. They have tractors and they have to get gas for their tractors. I mean, there's people that use wood gas and so forth, but and try to make their own fuel. And then you have a very few people that actually have teams of horses and have tried to do their farming that way. Of course, we all know about the Amish, who rejected many aspects of industrial civilization early on. But even the Amish are participate in our economy and so forth. And while they may do better when uh, the food disappears off the shelves at Walmart, uh, I don't think their long-term chances for survival are all that much better than everybody else's. We're all going to be taken up into the political and social conflicts that are going to arise, and you can't get away from those things. So, in your mind, I think you have to prepare for those things. How are you going to position yourself? And I think the important thing is to develop a circle, develop friends, develop other people who are equally concerned and who you can lean on for support, lean on each other. Your friendships and the size of your own personal community, the number of people that you know that can be part of it, that you trust, those are the important connections to be making nowadays. And too many people are disconnected. I'm one of them. I'm very disconnected. But then I don't really intend or have much hope of lasting very long when the shit hits the fan. I'm surprised I've actually lasted this long. So that's all I'm really going to talk about today and leave you with, which is as the sun sets today, on the longest day of the year, take a minute to reflect on your friendships and how you treat other people, how you think about other people, and be kind, be thoughtful, and do your best to do good. And that's all to do. This time until next time, here on the Doomstead Diner.